All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. I'm going to be asking the question and answering the question that some people have, man, by where they see that there's a gender war going on in the world, man, by where instead of men and women looking at each other as though they need each other, they look at each other as though they're their enemies, man. And I understand why, right? I understand why, man, because the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, have caused for the women of the nation of Israel to be our enemies. And anybody that doubts that, they obviously ain't paying attention, man. The women of the nation of Israel are our enemies right now, right? They're just our man. And that don't mean every single one, but the majority of them are. And then if a man tries to think that he can find comfort in any other nation of women, the comfort ain't going to be there either to a high degree because we're just cursed right now. But I'm going to be answering the question anyway, man. And if world's going to go the way that women think it's going to go, by where men are equal to them, or the man or the woman's greater than the man, but then the man is supposed to be attractive enough financially and physically and socially, right? Have charisma and have all of these things that's necessary to be able to attract more women than just the woman herself. But then he's supposed to say, nah, I'm not gonna deal with any of these other women that want me besides my woman. We're gonna see whether the world's gonna go like that for how women think it's gonna go, or whether the world's gonna go by where men are in charge of things and the man's allowed to have multiple wives, right? And the Israelite man is in power and is in charge, and the Israelite woman is second to the Israelite man. We're gonna see which way it's gonna go, man. And let's go to this. This is Genesis chapter 3. Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16. And unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception, and in sorrow shalt thou bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So the way how it's always been, or the way how it was set to be from the beginning of time, was for the man to be in charge, right? And the word Genesis means in the beginning. So the way that it's been since the beginning, or in the beginning, was for that the woman is second to the man, right? And in that space of the woman being second to the man, she still has a role, man. And in order to understand that role, you'd read Proverbs chapter 31 from verse 10 downwards. That's it. Like, there's no need for women to get all spooky out here and try and think that they're deep, because in their search of them trying to be better, right? In these women's search of them trying to be better than men and trying to be equal to men and all of that, they always still end up looking for a man that's better than them anyway. If a woman makes £50,000 a year, she's looking for a man that makes £50,000 a year or more than that. If a woman's a millionaire, she wants a man that's worth 2 million. If a woman's a billionaire, she wants a man that's worth 3 billion, 2 billion, or a billionaire herself. Women don't ever look downwards when they reach the goals that they think that they haven't achieved things, man. They always look upwards, or horizontal, man. Whereas men, in a man's state, when he increases, he looks downwards, man, because he don't see women as better than himself. Anyway, but let's answer the question, man. Let's see what the scriptures say, and let's see what prophecy says regarding whether women are gonna be equal to men, or whether women are gonna win and gonna achieve the goal of what they think they're gonna achieve, of becoming greater than the men. This is Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 9. Rise up, ye women are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and many years ye shall be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be ye troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the present field, for the fruit of a vine. So just listening to that don't really sound as though the women are gonna receive the glory that they are thinking about regarding them getting praise over the man. Now let me get another prophecy, right? Let me get some more, man. Micah chapter 7 and verse 8. Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, Yahweh shall be a light unto me. I will bear the indignation of Yahweh, because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? Which that lets you know that the women's agenda, right? The women's agenda in mass of what they're trying to achieve is against the prophecies of Yahweh. Because if it wasn't, then they wouldn't be receiving shame when they see the things that we're talking about. According to prophecy, they'd be receiving glory too, and they'd be happy to see it, but they're going to be ashamed to see it because they have an agenda that is completely different than what the prophecies of the Bible speak about, man. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now she shall be trodden down as the mire of the street. So that shows right there that the women are not going to be the ones that are going to be achieving what they thought they was going to achieve, man, in terms of them being equal to men, in terms of them being able to walk past men looking as beautiful as they can fake to make themselves up with through makeup and all these additions and clip-ons and additions that they attach to themselves, man, right? Or all these things that if they can draw onto their face, and then the man's supposed to not say nothing. They want to be able to go around dressed like complete harlots, and then the man can't say nothing. They call it catcalling and all of that. They want to make that stuff illegal, right? But then they want to be able to catcall men that they find attractive, and for that not to be illegal. They want to be able to just twerk on men that are at work, and that's not considered as anything dodgy. But they don't want a man to be able to even say anything to them unless they're attracted to him. As if you get to pick and choose regarding that. But let's get this next prophecy, because this is a prophecy that's going to take place, man. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 16, and I'm going to jump around in this. Moreover, Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. So because the Israelite woman is proud, right? She's walking around with her eyes all up in men's face, proud as hell, desiring the lust of the world, right? Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will discover their secret parts. So he's going to expose that although these women are walking around with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, and they seem as though they know what they're doing and they've got it together, Yahweh is going to expose that in actual fact, they don't know what's going on. They don't know what they're doing, and they are hypocrites. And they are living a weird life, man. And that's why when you're seeing what's going on in Dubai out there, right, and you're seeing about that stuff going on in Dubai, and you're seeing how these women get these Birkin bags, and you find out the truth, that they're not just boss queen babes and all that, that in fact, they're just a modern day odalisque, right? A modern day odalisque, right? Which, if you don't know what that word means, let me use another modern day term, man. A 304, right? Because there's many words out there for harlotry, man. Harlot, odalisque, promiscuous woman. There's many words out there, man. There's many words. Let me carry on. In that day, Yahweh will take away in fact, verse 17 again. Therefore, Yahweh will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion. And Yahweh will discover their secret parts. So he's going to expose that although they talk a good game, and they say that they want equality, and they say all of these things, and they talk as though they want a world that's fair, in actual fact, they want a world that's all about worshipping them. Not even about worshipping Yahweh. They want a world that's worshipping them. And these women can say whatever they want to say about us and say, oh, we just care about multiple wives and all of that. That's one of Yahweh's laws. That's one of Yahweh's laws, man. And that's not the only thing, because we're against that HIJK LMNP movement too. We're against alphabeting and rainbowing, man. We're against women being hard done by too. We're against that, man. But in order for you women to deserve for men to care about that, you have to not be proud, for starters. A woman that's proud, that gets served up real with judgment, I could care less about that. But if a woman's righteous and if something bad happens to her, I'll be bothered by that, man. But there's not really many that you see that you can even stand up and feel like you would be worthwhile protecting them for, man. Verse 18, anyway. In that day, Yahweh will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their cords and the round ties like the moon. Let me jump down, verse 24. And it shall come to pass, so after all of these things that's going to happen to these women, the taking away of the things that made them boastful, And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well set hair, boldness. And this is facts, man, because if a lot of these women that we think were attractive didn't have all of these additional things that they add onto themselves, men would feel a lot more comfortable walking around some of these women, man. They don't look nowhere near the same without all them extra additions on them, man. They'll stink. Their women are naturally dirtier than men to a certain degree, according to the scriptures, because the cleaning period for a woman is longer than the cleansing period for a man. The woman bleeds once a week, a month, so they're naturally not as clean as men. Men don't have to do nowhere near as many things to clean themselves and to maintain themselves as what women do. And that's why women need societies and cities and all of this stuff built up in order for them to reach their most feminine state, man. But a man in his most feminine state is in a war zone somewhere. That's a man in his most feminine state in a war zone, man. And that's why Yahweh Shai, at his ultimate state, is going to be on the earth fighting against the greatest opponent that's Yahweh's been crafting since the beginning of time, man. Yahweh's making Yahweh Shai his greatest opponent, which really isn't even no threat. But Yahweh's making Yahweh Shai an opponent to fight, man, so that Yahweh Shai can receive glory by taking him down. Because nobody else on earth is going to have been able to take Esau down. Yet Yahweh Shai is going to take him down with ease. That's a man in his most masculine state, man. And that's why King David was one of the most ultimate men to ever walk the earth. But Yahweh Shai is the ultimate. And he's going to show it when he comes back in the most masculine state of a man, in war mode, man. And the most masculine state and the most feminine state are on two opposite ends. Verse 24, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well set hair, boldness, and instead of a stomacher, a girdle of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy might in the war. Because some women will say, nah, but there's always going to be some men that are going to help me. No, those men are going to be taken away. Those men that have always aided you, women, and kept you proud, right? They're going to be taken away. Verse 26, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. And when you women lose all of that, you lose all of your cheerleaders, all of your external beauty. Then you're going to look at yourself for who you are. And then what does this prophecy say? This is a prophecy, man. This what I'm about to read is a prophecy. Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So women are not going to win the gender battle as they think it is, because them trying to fight a gender battle against men is really them trying to fight against the order that Yahweh set up from the beginning. Let me read it again. And them complaining that men want multiple wives and all of that. Listen, man, that's the natural order of things. That's natural. You women complaining about men wanting multiple wives is like men complaining that you women want men to take care of you. It don't make no sense to do. Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16, and unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So that's the way it's going to go back to, whether women want it or not. And the ones that don't want it are going to be Micah 7 and 10. The ones that do want it are going to be Isaiah 4 and 1. And the thing is, in regarding this, it's not going to be the women that are going to have a choice on whether they get picked or not. It's going to be the man's choice, which is something that people have a problem with in this world. The men having a say on what he does with his time and what he does with himself. They want to be able to say, if he was a real man, and then the next thing that follows after that is words that would be helping a woman out in some way. But then if a man says, if he was a real woman, that somehow is never something that's, they don't think that a real woman will be doing something that helps men. But every single time they think that a real man will be doing something, they think that that's some way helping women, man. But Yahweh is going to make it be that the men are increased, man. That's just how it's gonna go. And it don't matter who's got a problem with it. That's the way it's gonna go, man. And all of this women complaining now is being done deliberately, right? And it gets on our nerves and all of that, but it's being done deliberately so that when we see the opposite side, it's more glory in that, man. Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than a golden wedge of Ophir. So the men are going to be glorified and boosted up, man. They're going to be increased, but the women are going to be humbled in that time, man. The women are going to be humbled in that time, and in particular, the type of man I'm talking about that is going to be increased, he's going to be a man that is of the elect of the nation of Israel, right? And in the men winning, because men are naturally more humble than women, and because men's glory is the woman, right? And the woman's glory is herself. If the woman increases, all she's going to do is do things to increase herself. But if the man increases, he's going to do things to increase what his glory is, which is the woman. So in the man winning, the woman wins. But in the woman winning, the man loses. And that's just a fact, man. That's just a fact. And that's why Yahweh has set it up that way. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.